As Dubai is all set to host the COP28 summit, world leaders are now grappling with the urgent need to address climate change. In the latest, the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is urging decisive action to break free from what he calls a deadly cycle.
In a deadly cycle, ice reflects the sun's rays. As it vanishes, more heat is absorbed into the Earth's atmosphere. And that means more heating, which means more storms, floods, fires, and droughts across the globe, and more melting, which means, with less ice, even more heating. At COP28, which starts later this week, leaders must break this cycle. The solutions are well known.
Now, as the summit begins, the United States finds itself at the crossroads. Despite calls for global cooperation to combat climate change, the US is projected to extract more oil and gas than ever before in 2023, contributing to what is predicted to be the hottest year on record. The surge in fossil fuel production comes in stark contrast to the goals set by the COP28 summit, a summit where the European Union and a group of highly ambitious nations are pushing for a collective phase-out of fossil fuels. Guterres highlighted fossil fuel production as the poisonous root of the unfolding climate crisis. Now, the ambitious plans face a significant obstacle. The US government projects a production of a record-breaking 12.9 million barrels of crude oil to be extracted in 2023, and this is more than double the production from a decade ago. The forecast also indicates a doubling of US exports of liquefied natural gas in the next 4 years. And the question that now looms is, can the US, currently the world's leading oil and gas power, align its domestic energy policy with global climate goals? Despite President Joe Biden's efforts to address the climate crisis, including the Inflation Reduction Act and increased investments in clean energy, the surging fossil fuel production raises concerns. Critics argue that the production projections until 2050 may jeopardize international climate targets. Now, there's growing dissent within the US itself. Climate activists and members of the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council expressed disappointment. He claimed that President Biden's actions are not aligned with his promises to be the climate president. As the COP28 summit unfolds, all eyes are on whether the US can reconcile its fossil fuel ambitions with the global push to combat climate change.